Hello, everybody, and welcome to Secular Ultra Quran, your one-stop shop for everything secular, ultra, and Quran. And boy, do we have a show for you today. Today we are covering Surah 3, verses 58 through 83. We killed it.
Yes, we did.
I actually got it that time. Jeez, I mean, the amount of times you've got an async or something is it's palpable. It's a palpable amount.
Right. No, it was good for us to do that. Now we got the training wheels off for this new show.
Indeed. People of the audience, we have the Penguin Classics version of the Quran. We have the Study Quran. We have the Quran from the Quran Project. We have a thematic commentary on the Quran.
We have Qurans from Abdullah Yusuf Ali, from Maulana Muhammad Ali, and the Quran and the Bible. Text and commentary from Gabriel Said Reynolds, which has been useful quite a lot. Actually, Indeed. I guess all of these have really been useful, but I think this one is the one that gets like too preachy for its own good at some points. Like
all of them.
Well, they do, yeah. But I mean, this one especially is just like, let's throw in a random, comment about my own opinions.
Yeah. Now, when the literature, I mean, you've seen some of the literature, like New Earth. Right?
Oh, sure, yeah. Which actually, you know what? I found a really good book about the context of this stuff, and I'll send it to you.
Okay.
When I get home.
Sounds good. But when the literature says that there is no critical edition of the Quran, they don't just mean it in the sense of like a critical edition. There's no critical edition.
Yeah. Not critical in the way we wanted it to. But before we get started with the readings today, so Ryan, congratulations, the first one here. And there might be another congratulations in store for Ryan.
Really?
Well, I don't know. Maybe we got a wheel to spin. Yeah. So if you are a patron of $10 or more, you get entered into a monthly T-shirt giveaway, and this is the day that we give out the T-shirts.
Yes, the day that we give out the shirts, a most special day indeed. And so, without further ado, let us
spinny wheelie. Oh, so I see you got it. You got it up where we can also see it.
Indeed. We can see it.
We have it split.
The pinkish one? It's pretty borderline. Yeah, it's the pinkish one.
I'm having a hard time even telling. Do you have the bigger?
Haley, I believe.
Do you have the bigger screen for it?
Look for yourself.
There we go. Oh yeah, it is Hallie. Yeah.
Sorry,
yeah,
Hallie.
Yeah.
My
right.
bad.
That's fair.
I even knew that.
We're calling it for Hallie.
Yeah, we're calling. Oh, jeez.
I know it was close, guys.
Right. Yeah.
It's very
and
close.
This was a very important.
Yeah.
Thing
looks
we all
like
cared about for months.
Right. It looks like it's leaning Hallie though. Hopefully it's not rigged or anything.
No, it's been other things before, so we're pretty good.
Right. It's been other things before. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Crazy night last night.
Yeah.
Yeah. Kind of a disappointment. Disappointed in America.
Yeah.
But you know what? This isn't my first time being disappointed in America. In fact, I'm usually disappointed in America.
Yeah, you're very often disappointed in America.
Yeah.
I'm very disappointed in Americans.
That too, yeah.
Americans have failed me.
Yeah.
Utterly.
You
know what? It's not just Trump. It's like we're probably going to get some Supreme Court justices.
Yeah.
And they're going to be there
like younger ones.
Yeah, the next 40 years.
Yep.
We're probably going to get all sorts of problems with NATO.
Oh, yeah,
that's
definitely.
For sure.
Yeah.
Right. RFK in charge of the FDA.
I still cannot believe, or wasn't he supposed to be in charge of was it the FDA or the CDC?
I think it's the FDA.
Okay. Well, because no, he was going to be wasn't he going to be in charge of something that, well, I remember it had something to do with vaccines, didn't it? For RFK, I think.
It's going to mess with how we handle medical research.
Sure, yeah, that's true. That's
United
true.
States,
Yeah,
which is not good.
No, because RFK is the last person you want in charge of that sort of thing.
They've already decided that they're going to remove fluoride from our water supply,
right.
which, now we're all going to have like British teeth. Thanks, RFK. Yeah. No offense, British people.
Does anyone drink tap water?
Occasionally.
You guys drink my bottled water constantly, so I'm gonna go with no. I shouldn't have even asked.
Yeah, now I definitely should just drink the bottled one. Yeah, but sometimes I do. Yeah, definitely. So really, not looking like a bright future. I really hope that he just doesn't do much. But that's always untrue in second terms.
Well, the Supreme Court has given him the ability
to do basically whatever, as long as he can convince actually not that many people, considering they're already on it, or most of them are already on his side.
Oh no, it's
that's like an official action or something.
Mm-hmm. Which
so as long as they can do
that, he has to command the military as the commander in chief of the U.S. military.
Sure, yeah. So as long as he's got that, you can basically do whatever. Which is insane.
Yes.
So this has been a very quick fall of a nation.
Oh, and also,
but I hope for the best.
Besides the next 40 years of a heavily weighted Trump Supreme Court that's never going to balance out with our lifetimes.
Right. Yeah.
It
might be the end of our lifetimes. By the very end of our lifetimes.
Well, there's also the House and the Senate,
right? Yeah,
which are also screwed.
I saw the Senate. Did the House go red too?
I think it was.
I wasn't paying attention to that one. I saw that the Senate did.
I went to sleep at a certain point, and I think Republicans were ahead.
Yeah, unfortunate. All right. Well, I mean, yeah, that's where we are right now, and all I can do is hope for the best. But I ain't gonna hold my breath.
Because Jill Stein.
That's not the reason. Not it was a lot of things.
We can just assume that whoever's side you were on, whatever third party candidates there were, their voters would have voted for your party.
Yep. That's which is insane. Yeah. So instead of blaming one thing, probably a lot of issues. But instead of getting into that, we could talk about the one form of religiosity to another form of religiosity.
Yes.
So instead of Christian nationalism, let's talk about the Quran.
Yes, we have to study the set of laws that we are about to live under.
Oh, please, no.
Out of all of the sets of laws, Trump is like, you know what? I'm going with the Quran.
Yeah, the Quran's the best in the West.
Yeah, right. I could see him saying some stupid shit like that.
Yeah, probably. Anyways, let me hop into it with verse 58.
Yeah, 58.
This is what we recite unto thee of the signs and the wise reminder. The wise reminder. Al-Dakir al-Hakim.
Yeah, and
another name for the Quran.
Yeah, okay, gotcha. Yeah, this we recite to thee of the messages and the reminder full of wisdom.
Though some understand this to refer to the preserved tablet, from which all revelation comes down to earth.
Oh, right, that's the one that you were talking about.
Yes, which is referred to in Surah 85, verse 22.
Yeah. So on this. Yeah, no notes on this? Interesting, yeah. So no notes in any of these. But I do like that. Which one was that? The study Quran?
This one is the study Quran.
Okay, yeah. I'm glad they have a note on that.
Yes. Are you atheists because you fear God?
No, we're atheists because we don't believe in God.
Right. It's like...
Or we don't believe in... Yeah, it's that way, yeah.
Yep. So Darth Vader, you could be afraid of Darth Vader.
Yeah, I'm afraid of Darth Vader, Lawrence.
Are you?
He's so scary.
I'm afraid of Huggy Wuggy
Oh, from that game?
from Poppy Playtime.
That's a horror game, right?
Yeah.
Yep, there you go. Yeah.
Indie horror game.
Now,
It's pretty good.
Huggy Wuggy is not real.
It's a video game.
Oh, he isn't?
No, neither is Vince McMahon.
What? Oh, shit. Well, there's no. Vince McMahon is real. Mr. McMahon is not real, technically.
Fictional character.
But he basically is the character.
Yeah.
Kane is not real, but
The mayor of Knox County is real.
is he still?
I think so, yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah. By the way, yeah, heavenly, potentially, heavenly tablet reference here.
Yep. Heavenly tablets, preserved tablet.
Right, yeah.
Truly, the likeness of Jesus in the sight of God is that of Adam. He created him from dust, then said to him, "Be," and he was.
Whoa, that's deep.
So
Okay.
there's quite a few things here that I would think are Christologically significant. So according to the standard Islamic interpretation, because it sounds Aryan, right? So the likeness of Jesus, this human form with Allah, is truly as the likeness of Adam. So it's the same idea of man made in God's image. But then it goes on to say that he created him from dust as like a second creation.
Now, is
And because of that-
him in reference to Adam?
He created him from dust, then said, "Oh, well." The thing is, because they're saying at the beginning of it, I mean, at least in my interpretation, I could be wrong. We'll check the commentaries, but if they're saying that this is Jesus that he's talking about, because they start off saying we just got done with a whole section about Jesus, right? So if we're talking about if we start off talking about the likeness of Jesus, I feel like bringing it back to Jesus by the end would make sense. So if he created Jesus from dust, then said to him, "Be," and he was, that would make sense to me. Now the thing is, either way, we're talking about them being created in a similar fashion, because no matter how you actually interpret that, they are being created the same way.
Yeah.
Which to me is it strikes me as Arian, like as in like the heresy of Arius. So this was the big debating point at the Council of Nicaea.
The Father precedes the Son.
No. This one was that the Son was just another creation of the Father.
Oh.
Yeah, that it was just like another thing like you and me. So that was obviously not liked by Trinitarians. So that was the whole issue at the Council of Nicaea. But this strikes me as Arian. So we'll see what these commentators say.
My commentator says, it's reported that these verses were revealed while the Christian delegation from Najran was in Medina. These Christians reportedly argued that since Jesus had no human father, he was truly God's son. This verse constitutes one of the central arguments in the Quran against the divinity of Christ.
Right, yeah.
It acknowledges the miraculous nature of his birth, but rejects the implication that this makes him divine. If God could create Adam, who had neither earthly father nor mother, from dust, he could create Jesus from the blood of Mary. The word likeness means that the certain attributes of Adam and Jesus are alike.
Well, yeah, but that's kind of the thing that that a lot of Christians at the time would have thought, that God took like the flesh of Mary and used it to make the body for Jesus.
Yeah, but how many ribs could Mary have left after her already being the? Never mind.
Listen, magic.
Yeah, all right.
So whatever answer,
I got it. Put the two rings together behind.
Yeah. It works with magic. So for these, the standard Islamic interpretation in this verse, the Quran is refuting the idea that Jesus is the divine Son of God because he has no father, by pointing out that Adam too had no father.
Mm-hmm. There seems to be agreement among commentators.
Yeah, Wahidi embeds this interpretation in a story about Christians from the southern Arabian city of Najran. Yeah.
New paper for you, Lawrence. The psychological effects on Mary and Adam as to not being raised by a father.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Stupid idea, but I thought it was hilarious.
Yeah, that is funny. That is funny. Like, that would be something, like if there was a journal that was publishing something for, like, April Fool's Day.
The Onion, almost.
If
we had an equivalent, we had a spoof thing before. Remember when we had a spoof thing?
We did, yeah. It was very funny.
I think it's still
the
around.
Narcissistic Nihilist?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, well, no, it was the other thing where we wrote into a journal. We had an ad.
Oh, that one. Yeah, the ad. Yes, yes.
The ad.
It was pretty good.
Anywho.
Anyways, the truth is from thy Lord, so be not among the doubters. And to whomsoever disputes with thee over it, after the knowledge that is come unto thee, say, Come, let us call upon our sons, and your sons, our women, and your women, ourselves and yourselves. Then let us pray earnestly so as to place the curse of God upon those who lie.
So
this seems like, well, first of all, the curse of God.
Yeah, that's odd. That's
odd. But also, in addition to that, it's like a direct challenge that you can use the magical powers of your prayer in order to mystically curse someone else in a contest of magical prayer powers trying to curse each other.
We've had that before in the Bible.
Well, with Baal.
Yeah.
Yes. That did occur.
Yeah, they had a couple of upshowing things.
Why do Muslims not do this?
Why don't they all gather together and like
pray for cursing people in order to prove that their God exists?
That would be pretty useful, I think. That would be useful in a lot of cases.
Do you know any scientists who would be atheists?
Who would be atheist?
Who would happen to be
atheist?
Probably the majority of them.
Who's the first scientist that comes to mind who happens to be an atheist?
Well, the way you asked me, I thought that you were saying, do I personally know any?
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, we actually had him on the channel.
He's right there.
Which one?
Name
Dr.
drop.
John Ellis.
Oh, that guy.
Oh, yeah, John Ellis. He's a scientist.
Yeah.
Wasn't Landon a scientist, guys?
Landon also is a scientist.
Landon?
Yeah. But the first one that popped in my mind was
wow.
Yeah.
All this time.
Do you think that either of these scientists
Yeah.
would be willing to be cursed for the sake of an experiment?
I think so. I think Landon and John and all the other ones too. They would also be down for that.
Okay, we need to make this happen somehow.
Giant cursing.
Yeah.
Okay.
This specific activity in the Quran, look, if you say the Quran is like holy and true and whatever, then this needs to be a thing that you can repeat, right?
Sure, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, so is this well, hold on. So that was verse 61.
And hold on, let me just rub it in further.
Okay.
Because verse 62 says, "This is indeed the true account. There is no God but God, and truly God is the mighty, the wise."
Sure, yeah, fair enough. So it seems that with this section, at least from this commentary, it says that this chapter starts the discussion of the Christian doctrines in particular. The persons addressed in particular in this verse are the members of Najran, right? So they're still apparently supposed to be talking about this this specifically Christian community. This deputation, consisting of 60 men, was headed by Abd al-Masi, the chief of the Najran Christians, and the members of the deputation were lodged in the Prophet's mosque. Thus did the prophets set an example of freedom of religious thought, which remains without parallel to this day. Yeah, whatever. The prophet related to them arguments showing that Jesus Christ is not God. Oh, okay, so they're just going over all this stuff. But let's see. Where's the interesting giant prayer battle stuff? That's what I'm really looking for. And it doesn't really look like this one talks about it.
Okay, then let me get into it, because it says here there are varying accounts of the details of the encounter, but the elements common to the story are
so this is supposed to be describing one encounter. Then okay, instead of saying this is a specific provision.
Yes, when the Christians, Najran Christians, right, refused to embrace Islam and continued to hold their beliefs about Jesus, they were challenged to place the curse of God upon those who lie, and the two sides agreed to meet the next day. Upon retiring, the Christians consulted among themselves and concluded that since they wished to remain Christian, no further good could come from entering into the challenge. Either they feared the curse of God upon themselves if Muhammad was in fact a true prophet, or they feared Muhammad politically and did not desire to become his political enemy. According to some reports, the prophet came out the next day with his daughter, Fatima, and her two sons, Hassan and Hussein. Other accounts also include Ali, Fatima's husband, and the prophet's cousin. As the verse says, the disputants' sons and women were part of the challenge. Rather than enter into the challenge, the Christians declined and, according to some versions, said, "We seek refuge in God." Then the prophet and the Najran delegation came to the agreement that the Najranis would become a treaty-holding people, dhimmi, remaining Christian and running their own affairs, but paying a yearly indemnity to the Muslim community. They requested that the prophet send back with them a trustworthy companion, which the prophet did, according to one account, in order that he might act as a kind of arbiter among them regarding some pre-existing financial issues. For Ibn Kathir, this incident took place in 9 of 631, since the Najranis were the first to pay jizya, and the jizya was imposed after the conquest of Mecca. But this chronology depends on the various and sometimes conflicting reports regarding the circumstances under which the Najranis came to Medina, what transpired while they were there, and the agreement that was reached before they left. So, yeah, that's a long story, but some important things come up there. First, the dhimmis, which continued to be a practice for a very long time, and I believe may still be a practice in some places, where if you're not a Muslim, you can live there, but you don't have like as many rights.
Right,
you have to pay a special tax, this jizya, which every year you have to
during the Muslim conquests, that kind of became more like standardized throughout the area. At least, for the run of the Ottoman Empire. Although, back to this God's curse thing. So the kind of curse that this would be, there's not really much context. In fact, I'm not even seeing much commentary on the specific curse. But
we can speculate that it may be related to the Deuteronomy curse.
That is true. Or, because let's see, what are we talking about? We're talking about, praying. And actually, hold on. No, because we were talking about, if we're talking about the heresies, then like this curse might just be like, no, I guess they would have said like something about the afterlife, right? Because they like talking about that.
You love that.
So yeah, I guess maybe this wouldn't be the, because I was thinking maybe it's something about the afterlife, but maybe it's when people don't follow God, bad things can happen to them, just kind of like shit life kind of thing, not necessarily as bad as the curses in Deuteronomy, which those are like explicit, like you're
gonna eat your children because of how poor you are.
Yeah, exactly. That's God, going off the rails.
Yep.
happened
That's
a lot.
actually in the Bible.
Yeah, no, God will make you eat
Absolutely
your
wild.
children, and he is going to enjoy making you eat your children.
Mm-hmm.
Deuteronomy 28. Crazy curses there.
Yes.
But I would suspect, just from how it's talked about, that this isn't quite to that extent. But I assume it would be like kind of the same, shitty life kind of thing.
Mm-hmm. Maybe it's just a general
curse, like bad luck to you.
Mm-hmm. The curse of God.
Right, yeah. The worst kind of luck, yeah.
The evil eye on you.
Of course, yeah.
I guess that's even less general. That's pretty specific.
Yeah, I suppose.
Mm-hmm. And if they turn away, then God knows well the workers of corruption. Say, O people of the book, come to a word common between us and you, that we shall worship none but God, shall not associate aught with him, and shall not take one another as lords apart from God.
Yeah, so maybe just...
And if they turn away, then say, bear witness that we are submitters.
So we'll get to that last section in just a bit here. But yeah, people of the books, they're still talking about Christians and Jews.
Mm-hmm.
Come to a common word between us and you. So some common ground on what they're worshiping. That we will worship no one but God, that we will not ascribe any partner to him, and that some of us will not take some others as lords besides God. So this is referencing, this would be kind of, where they're getting the idea that the people are starting to take multiple gods, the people are being very polytheistic in this region.
Mm-hmm.
But the thing is, because they're talking specifically to Christians and Jews, my guess, considering on the time this is on, when they talk about other lords besides God, do you have another translation there for lords?
Lords in verse 64 could also be translated as lords.
What? That's tautological.
Yeah. I mean, I'm just looking at some other ones because I want to, it might help just to kind of see exactly what they mean. Because if they mean like lord as in like a leader of a group, that would be different than like a lord as in a god, right?
Maybe sometimes the Bible likes to say, no, there's no difference there. Remember a couple of times they're like,
sure, true.
Kings and lords are as divine as God, blah, blah, blah. There's like, well, sometimes they have a really big pro-noble preference, and other times they have none and they hate him.
True, yeah. So there is... Okay, so yeah, the reference in the sentence...
None of us shall set up mortals as gods beside him.
Oh, okay, so that's literally direct reference to the Decalogue.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, some of us shall not take others for lords is the practice prevailing then both among Jews and Christians, and at present among Muslims too. Okay, so among Muslims too, to take religious leaders as invested with divine powers, which is more clearly enunciated in 913. Quote, they take their doctors of law and their monks for lords besides Allah. So this was referring to like leaders or experts in, in whatever part of life they're in. So that to me would speak not just of like the Trinity stuff, but also to cults as well, because the part of the world that we're talking about and the time period, around the year 600, cults were blowing up in the early 5th century through like
the mystery schools.
Yeah, not just the mystery schools. Like we're talking about in different parts of the world too. So we're talking cult of Thecla. We're talking cult of Patrick. There are who was the other? There was the cult of I forgot her name. But either way, like there's a whole bunch of them, right? So my guess is that he's referring specifically to cults of saints.
Mm-hmm.
That's my guess, because if we're talking about polytheism, or potential polytheism, setting up gods besides another god. The potential references are to the Trinity or to community leaders like
given the context that we are talking potentially about a dispute between Muslims and Najrani Christians, it very well could be a direct dispute of the Trinity. In fact, we just previously had a verse disputing the divinity of Jesus. And a whole section about Jesus.
I would say that because the first part of this clause is about the Trinity, not ascribing any partner to God. The second part can be about something else. But that's at least my argument, but that's only from just reading the English versions.
Yes, because it does say "and."
Yeah, exactly. So that's what would be my summation, that we're talking about both like cult leaders, cult objects, perhaps, and then also Trinitarian theology.
Now there's an alternative here. Some understand take another as lords to mean that one prostrates before them.
Oh, also
for
Pope.
Others, it
also
means
the Pope,
that one
the
is
fucking Pope. Yeah, I forgot the Pope or priest. Yeah.
For others, it means that one's obedient to another to the detriment of the truth. So that this part of the verse is similar to Surah 9, verse 31. They have taken their rabbis and monks as lords, right? Which you referred to as well. Yeah. Anyways.
Yeah, so this has to be some sort of, they would be talking about community leaders, because they reference here also Abraham, right? So and that's going to be in the next section.
Follow Aleister Crowley types.
The what?
EA Coetting.
Oh, yeah.
Like those fellas out there.
Yeah, there's something.
Joel Osteen.
That guy's way worse.
Matt Dillahunty.
Yeah, Matt Dillahunty, that crazy bastard.
Yeah, he's a
cult leader.
Definitely a cult leader.
Definitely, 100%.
Oh, for sure.
All right.
Anyways, people of the book, why do you dispute concerning Abraham, as neither the Torah nor the gospel was sent down until after him? Do you not understand?
Yeah, this forms the basis for their argument about all these people being Muslim, because if they're just servants, then that's just how they define it. They just define it as servant. But like the thing is, before the Torah and before Jesus, you couldn't could you really even call Abraham Jewish or Christian? That's the argument.
Which will be taken up further as we go. Behold!
Behold! It's actually a behold.
Yes.
Crazy. That's pretty rare now.
You are the very same who dispute concerning that of which you have knowledge. So why do you dispute concerning that of which you have no knowledge? God knows, and you know not. Wow, this is Jobian.
Yeah. That's absolutely true. Why are you talking about it? You have no idea.
Abraham was neither Jew nor Christian, but rather was a Hanif, a submitter, and that means Muslim.
Gotcha.
And he was not one of the idolaters. Well, there was a period of time.
There was,
wherein he. So technically, when you say he was not, you're incorrect. He was not after a certain point. Actually, no, because prior to that,
first of all, there was no Abram. Right, but let's be clear, there was no Abraham.
That's not Abraham, that's Abram.
Right, different name. Yeah, gotcha.
Yep, different character. I stand corrected. I take it back.
Let's see. This passage is, of course, parallel to in the second surah, 139 through 41. In Romans, Paul presents the faith of Abraham, who lived before the Jewish law was given to Moses on Mount Sinai, as a prophetic anticipation of Christian faith. That's funny. Later Christians, such as Eusebius, are more explicit still, comparing the religion of Abraham with that of Christians. Oh my God, Eusebius, you fucking asshole. This is what he says about it. It was by faith towards the Logos of God, the Christ who had appeared to him, that he was justified, and gave up the superstition of his fathers and his former erroneous life, and confessed the God who is over all to be one, and him he served by virtuous deeds, not by the worship of the law of Moses, who came later. It is only among Christians throughout the whole world that the manner of religion, which was Abraham's, can actually be found in practice. So that was Eusebius's argument. So here the Quran responds to this claim by insisting that Abraham was neither a Jew nor a Christian. Quite funny that Eusebius was like, he was actually the original Christian because he was doing all the Christian stuff before Christianity.
Mm-hmm. Truly.
And also, yes, April, you are absolutely right. Eusebius does sound like a venereal disease.
Indeed, it does.
Yeah.
Didn't he have that one book about heresies?
He had lots of books. I'm sure I think he had one about heresies.
Didn't he have that one that had that part about that Marian cult? His complaint was that they were women.
Wait, are you talking? Wait,
which church father was that?
Talking about against Marcion?
Is it?
Or are you talking about because what was the complaint about them being women?
It was like, I posted in the Discord at one point.
Oh, that's right. Okay, that's right. I remember you posting something. I don't remember who that church father was.
It was absolutely wild.
Yeah. That I do remember you doing.
Anyways, truly, the people worthiest of Abraham are those who followed him, and this prophet, and those who believe. And God is the protector of the believers. So here, worthiest translates awla, a term that is related to wali, protector or friend, which appears later in the verse in the description of God as the protector of the believers. In this sense, to say that they are awla means that they have the strongest bond of walaya, inheritance, protection, friendship, alliance with Abraham.
Oh, yeah. Remember I think in the Psalms we had a lot of like friends of God stuff, or was that in Job?
Mm-hmm.
I think.
Yeah.
I forget exactly which work.
Well, Job's friends are a separate matter.
No, I know. But there was like a section specifically, not a section, a group specifically that was referred to as like friends of God multiple times. I'm not sure if that was in the Bible or if that was in the apocryphal text, but I do remember.
It's hard because I get them mixed up too.
Yeah, that's fair. I also get them mixed up.
I also get them mixed up, and I think it's this whole 10-year thing
you
have.
You get us mixed up.
That's right, Ruben.
That's right, Ruben. This is a friend, Lawrence.
Yes.
That's still my favorite thing.
You know what?
So
no
funny.
matter,
that's pretty
That's
bad.
so funny, though.
Yes.
No matter what Chrissy says, the Testament of Job is the better version.
Yes, it is. I agree. The
Yes.
Testament of Job is far better.
Yeah, it is superior literature.
Yeah.
Come at me.
It is way funnier.
It is.
Way funnier.
Anyways, I'm going to hand it off to you.
Yeah, good
starting
idea.
at an
69?
excellent verse.
So verse 69.
Nice.
Well done.
A group of the people of the book were eager to lead you astray, yet they led no one astray except themselves, but they are not aware. So is there any commentary on who this is referring to?
Some people of the book go astray themselves insofar as they reject the truth that exists before them in the person of the Prophet Muhammad and the revelation of the Quran, or they go astray because they wish to turn you back to the disbelievers. The verse resembles other verses that describes how the effects of evil actions rebound on those who commit them.
It says that these specifics come up later in the section as well. People of the book, why do you deny God's signs while you testify to their truth? Oh, people of the book, why do you mix the truth with falsehood and conceal the truth while you know it? While you know it. Okay. So this seems to be a thing that is recurring.
Yeah,
in the
these
Quran.
verses are usually understood to refer to the rejection of the mission of the prophet by Jews and Christians. Even though he's foretold according to Islamic beliefs in their sacred books. Some say that their being witnesses means that they bear witness to the truth of the prophets in their own traditions, who themselves manifest the same truths.
Yeah, these signs of God. So this could be the way I was initially thinking of these was like kind of things that are more auspicious.
Mm-hmm.
But I guess like these things would be ones that point directly to like, in this case, like Muhammad's like prophethood, or like the truth of his word or something. So it could be a variety of things. But I'm still unsure as to what exactly we're supposed to picture, because like in the Bible, signs, they make abundantly clear what the fuck they're talking about. They're talking like world-ending shit.
Mm-hmm.
Like those are signs that you need to listen to.
Yeah, well, the sign is that Muhammad's delivering this
Right, yeah.
message.
That he's there at all to kind of bring everything together and say, I'm just here to tell you that you're actually all right, but also wrong. Get back on track with being right.
Well, happy birthday, Beatrice.
Yeah, happy birthday.
Camilla. Everybody go get cake. And we'll all
eat it at home
together.
Yeah,
asynchronously.
I was thinking on my way over here that I would get
slowly too.
Over the course of as long as this video is online.
Jeez.
Oh, sure, yeah, absolutely.
We'll all asynchronously eat cake.
Yeah, it'll be sometimes it'll be kind of difficult if there are enough people watching. Like eventually. 2 people will be eating cake at the same time. All those viewers.
Yeah. Someday.
Yeah.
Jesus, Lawrence.
Maybe when you start your political career. For the pirate party.
Oh, okay, gotcha. That'd be something. So, yeah. So that was the end of that section there. So on to verse 72.
Mm-hmm.
A group of the people of the book say, believe in what has been sent down to the faithful at the beginning of the day and disbelieve at its end, so that they may turn back from their religion. They say, do not believe anyone except him who follows your religion.
So it's thought that this verse refers to a stratagem on the part of some Jews to pray with the Muslims at the start of the day, affirming their belief in Islam. But then at the end of the day, to revert back to their own religion with the intention of creating doubt and uncertainty in the minds of Muslims about Islam. That is, their about face would be a more powerful cause of doubt in the minds of the believers.
Oh, so that's what they're saying? Because it says here, let's see, watch here has the sense of beginning early part. The cynics who plotted against Islam actually asked their accomplices to join the believers and then repudiate them. At least according to this. And it seems like is there not commentary on this section?
No commentary.
Or maybe it's just over.
Commentless indeed. But do you hear
what?
Something?
We don't do that anymore.
You're really gonna use the bathroom, huh?
I hear something.
Okay, I also hear something. It's me continuing to read. That's quite funny.
Wow, Chief.
Yeah, that's really funny. Okay, so they do actually have commentary here on this. So because this is for verse 72 where it talks about them turning back at the end there. So I'm just gonna read this section. the words would bear two different significances according to what the personal pronoun in akirahu refers to, for it may either refer to that which has been revealed, or this is in the part that's in the first part of the day and believe in the latter part of it, perhaps they may turn back. That which has been revealed, or to the day. The meaning in the first case is that a belief may be avowed in the earlier part of the revelation while denying the latter portion, with the object of creating doubts as to the sincerity of the prophet. They would say, for instance, that the earlier revelation was no doubt true, but that the prophet aimed at personal aggrandizement in later revelation, a position which is to this day adopted by some of the Christian writers. If we adopt the other significance, the meaning would be that they should avow a belief in the truth of Islam in the morning and deny it in the evening, and thus perturb the minds of those who had accepted Islam. Okay, so they're thinking about this in not just like a personal view about accepting what is true, but in more of a communal one, which I think is interesting. Because, I guess it says the group of the people of the book say there's a certain section of them that kind of pay lip service at one part for some part of their life, and then they don't for the rest of them. Yeah, so they may turn back from their religion. And then don't believe anyone except him who follows your religion. So even though they are trying to achieve some kind of unity, it still seems like they are not fully united, because there's at least this group of people that's trying to screw them over, I guess, even though they just went through all that trouble. So I'm going to continue on here. Yeah, they say, do not believe anyone except him who follows your religion. Say, guidance is indeed the guidance of God.
Wait. What verse are you on?
Oh, in the middle of 73.
73.
Yeah, so the little section in 72, I extrapolated on it a little bit, how it's supposed to be like a group of either Jews or Christians that is trying to divert the believers, perhaps, or they try to, it seems like a lot of diversion of believers kind of thing. Like they're kind of there to throw off the believers, instill some doubts in them. So they pretend to, believe in the same thing for a certain time, and then by the end of their day, they are not believing that.
No.
So then it says only trust the people in your in group.
Okay.
Do the holes of his hands and
So
feet
never
make a
trust
whistle
anyone who
noise
isn't-
that gets louder the faster he goes? That's very funny. And I am not reading the whole conversation, but I'm glad you guys are talking about that, because I feel like that's really important to.
It literally says,
scientific method.
and believe none but him who follows your religion.
Right, exactly.
That's wild.
Yeah. So like the
That's
people
like saying be xenophobic.
yeah. So like the only people you can trust are like fully, completely would be the ones in your religion. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's happened.
Why do you think you haven't deconverted Eric? Because
Eric's not a Muslim.
Well, in spirit.
In spirit, right? Because
He submits to God.
yeah, he's a servant. Yeah, there you go. Yeah.
He submits.
Submits.
He's a good
submits.
Muslim.
Yeah. According to Muslims. I'm gonna continue on here though. Don't believe anyone except him who follows your religion. Say, guidance is indeed the guidance of God. They say, do not believe that anyone may be given the like of what you were given, or that he may argue with you before your Lord. So yeah, just because you've gotten, some good stuff doesn't mean that other people, are like entitled to it. Say, all grace is indeed in God's hand. He grants it to whoever he wishes. And God is all bounteous, all knowing.
Mine says all-encompassing.
Oh, sure. That would make sense.
Which would drive you towards like some kind of monism in your interpretation.
In some ways, yeah, if you interpret it that way, true. So verse 74, he singles out for his mercy whomever he wishes, and God is dispenser of a mighty grace. So this is kind of ultimately where, at least in my experience, where a lot of Muslims fall on the whole like who's going to heaven and hell thing. Mm-hmm. Like even though there's all these provisions against non-believers, and especially if you're trying to stop Muslims from worshiping. So they believe that you're going to hell, but then they always point to this and then go, you know what? Ultimately, it's up to God. Maybe that guy was so good at doing other things that God was like, you know what? Could really use you in heaven. Maybe who knows? That's up to God, right? Yeah. So that's where they ultimately fall, even though they have all those rules.
Wonderful.
What a compromise.
Yeah. So relieving.
Right, isn't it?
I'm so glad that even if you follow all the rules, it doesn't mean God wants you.
That's very accurate. So on to verse 75. Among the people of the book is he who, if you entrust him with a quintal?
The quintal.
I don't know what this word is.
Gotta know.
Will repay it to you.
Hold on.
How much is that? A certain amount of money or something?
The quintal. This is in verse
75.
75. It's a great amount of wealth.
Oh, okay. Yeah, a heap of wealth is what it says there. Okay. A heap of wealth. Okay, so yeah, among the people in the book is he who, if you entrust him with a heap of wealth, will repay it to you. And among them is he who, if you entrust him with a dinar, so that's like a day's wage, I think.
A single silver piece.
Oh, is it? Okay. I thought that was... Okay, never mind. Maybe that was equivalent. So a single silver piece will not repay it to you unless you stand persistently over him. That is because they say we have no obligation to the non-Jews. But they attribute lies...
To the unlearned.
Interesting. Let's check some translations.
The Jews do not consider it a sin to cheat or lie to a Gentile or a pagan, is the footnote.
I don't even think that's true.
I don't think it's true either. It's against the 10 Commandments.
Right, yeah.
Which the Quran says. Isn't that just like blatant anti-Semitism?
Yes. We have... So if they... Yeah. So
or is it saying that these people in this story who now are supposedly non-Najrani Christians but are Jews?
Oh, okay. Or, well, the thing is, dividing line, right? But I think what they're trying to get to here is that, like, there's a certain group of people with, among these Christians that, or even, non-Christians as well, like Jews as well.
Some Jews consider previous agreements between them and former Jews who became Muslims to be null and void, claiming that this was reaching a teaching from the Torah, or that it was attributed to an excess of tribalism. Non-Jews renders umiyun, a single umi, elsewhere rendered illiterate or unlettered. Here it's understood to mean that from the point of view of the Jews speaking, the contractual obligations with non-Jews are different, and they didn't have to be observed with the same care, if at all, with those Jews who had become Muslims. It is said that some Muslims came to Ibn Abbas and made a similar claim against some members of a non-Muslim treaty-holding community, saying there's nothing to stop us when it comes to them. They were corrected by Ibn Abbas, who told them that it was not permissible to take wealth from the treaty peoples beyond what was paid in indemnity for jizya. Many commentators use this verse as an occasion to speak of the importance of protecting trusts and repaying what one owes. Al-Qurtubi quotes a long hadith stating that regarding the weighty matters of returning trusts to their owners, resentment leads to perfidy, leads to a lack of compassion, which in turn leads to being cursed and outcast, which ultimately leads to Islam leaving one's heart.
So I do want to quickly read this out because I feel like it's important. So the Gabriel Said Reynolds says here, our translator implies that the Quran here is referring specifically to the Jews who say we have no obligation to non-Jews and accusing them of dishonesty. Yet the word he translates as non-Jews, ummiyin, refers to those who are not people of the book. So either Jews nor Christians, regarding which he has a passage here for the second surah.
So people who aren't of the book
yeah.
But that's also non-Jews refers to the unlettered or illiterate. So when they refer to Muhammad as illiterate or unlettered and claim that as the basis that he literally couldn't read and write, is it actually the case that he's unlettered in the sense that he didn't follow the traditions of the written Torah and Gospels?
I don't know. You'd have to look at the specific words that are used.
I wonder.
Yeah, but yeah. So yours actually argues for the reading illiterate.
This one did. This one said non-Jews.
Okay, gotcha. Interesting. Okay, that's I would say I'd look into it, but I don't know Arabic, so I can't really
look into things. Not allowed.
No.
Go on.
Verse 76. Yes, whoever fulfills his commitments and is wary of God, God indeed loves the God-wary. There shall be no share in the hereafter for those who sell God's covenant and their oaths for a paltry gain.
Wait, Esau.
Oh yeah, that is true. He did kind of sell that off. Well, no, it was
food.
Right. No, I know that. Yeah, he sold it for food. That's right. Yeah.
Well, he didn't sell God's covenant, but he sold the blessing that was part of
the
covenant.
Which I would say is, it's part of it.
Yeah.
It's not the whole thing, but it's part of it.
And then he went off and formed this different group.
Maybe, good for him.
Yeah. Anyways, continue on.
Yeah.
77.
Yeah. Middle of 77. Yeah, and on the day of resurrection, God will not speak to them, nor will he so much as look at them, nor will he purify them. And there is a painful punishment for them. So this might actually, for those who sell God's covenant and their oaths for paltry gain. So what this sounds like to me is a weird way to describe apostasy.
It seems like it.
I could totally see this being like sellouts too, like a Joel Osteen, for example. So I could totally see that. But I feel like this would also apply to something like apostates because it says specifically that like you're selling off God's covenant. So you no longer are, you're saying that in this life, you're no longer subject to God's like law or whatever. Mm-hmm. You'll know guilt for breaking that.
And their oaths.
Right, yes. And he doesn't like that, apparently. But now he's not even going to hear you out. And the thing is, if he's supposed to be a judge, he's supposed to hear you out in court.
Look, an oath breaker is untrustworthy. When you're in court, right, you go up to the stand, put on your hand on the copy of Star Wars.
On the upside-down, backwards Bible written in Chinese Braille and half the pages written out?
Written out? No. Say, like, so help me, George Lucas. And
then George comes and says,
no. I know that guy. He made Lord of the Rings.
Yeah. War Star, come on.
Anyways, that's an oath that you swear. And on that basis of swearing an oath to say something truthfully, you're heard out within the courtroom, right? But if you have an oath breaker, then How can you trust their oath to be honest with you when you're in the middle of trying to judge their case?
You can't.
You can't do it, which means
I dropped the damn thing.
yeah, it's right there.
I know I saw it. I just couldn't quite reach it.
Jeez. Yeah.
Dropped the bottle cap. I'm blaming Ruben, by the way.
So he doesn't like oath breakers, like Lawrence.
Yeah, I
who
love
was
oath breakers.
born Jewish.
Yeah, so
Never
I love oath
attended
breakers.
any synagogue.
I went to synagogue.
Wow.
Not like a lot, but we went there for like holidays.
Like a lot.
Sometimes.
What's your favorite one?
My favorite one. I didn't have a
No,
favorite.
which one had the best music?
It was all shit.
There's several different ones.
But I
They
remember.
must be varying levels of shit.
I guess the only memorable one was, it was someplace in Whitefish Bay. I don't even fucking remember. I was a child.
Wowie zowie, everybody. This is how much religious studies majors know about liturgy.
10. Out of a number. I'm not telling you.
They so don't care.
Mm-hmm.
So don't care. I just remember it being annoying and having to deal with family, which I also don't like to deal with. Anyways.
Mm-hmm.
Santa 78. There is indeed a group of them who alter their tone while reading out some text that they have themselves authored, so that you may suppose it to be from the book, though it is not from the book. And they say it is from God,
Oh, okay.
though it is not from God.
Oh.
And they attribute lies to God, and they know it. That's quite funny. So behind Karai's quote, alter their tone while reading out some text is the Arabic. I'm not even going to try to pronounce that. Let's see. The text, kitab, the Quran alludes to is divine revelation. This is Assad's understanding when he translates, quote, distort the Bible with their tongues. On scriptural falsifications, let's see, 446. Okay. So this section here was at 78? 78? Yes, it was 78.
What is the difference between a Gentile and a pagan? Well, you can have Yahwists who are Gentiles.
Yeah, but not pagans. Yeah,
They're not pagans. If they're monotheistic Yahwists, they're Gentiles.
sure.
If they're not Jews.
Definitely not pagans though.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it looks like when they say that it's part of the book there, I know that. God damn it! Why am I having such a problem turning pages today? When it talks about the text there, yeah. So he's talking about the divine. Well, the thing is, he says it's talking about the divine revelation.
Mm-hmm.
But this is actually something I've noticed talking to Muslims about it when I ask about like, well, what are these texts that they're or what are these books that they're referring to, right? Like, you can't be referring to the entirety of the Torah or the New Testament. Surely you can't be doing that, because if you do, then you guys are wrong, because you keep saying that the other one is right.
Mm-hmm.
So it has to go back to the original message, right? The original faith.
On the preserved tablets.
Right, yeah. The original form of the faith, whatever like Allah's version of the perfect faith is.
Which was given to Abraham as a Hanif.
Right. So that is the philosophy there. But when they say something like, well, they're reading from the book and saying that there's stuff in it when it's not in there, or vice versa, it's a very easy apologetic mold to fit into, because if you don't like something, you just say it's not like original. You say, oh, that's part of the corrupted thing. But then if you bring up like, well, if you believe in like, Moses and Abraham and stuff, they'd be like, well, yeah, of course, those are in the Bible. Yeah. So like it's very cherry picky about what is confirmed and what is not, and what's added and what's not.
Indeed. Carry on.
So 79. It does not behoove. Behoove, yeah.
Behoove.
Any human that God should give him the book. Okay, there we go. Gotcha. Judgment and the book, judgment and prophethood, and then he should say to the people, "Be my servants," instead of God. Rather, he would say, "Be a godly people because of your teaching the book and because of your studying it."
So more saying, like, if someone's a cult leader, don't follow them. And it also follows the examination of Jesus as prior. So perhaps the implication is that you ought not follow Jesus as
as like a God, yeah,
alongside God, which would
right
play into my my interpretation of that earlier verse about being about Jesus, not being a legitimate.
Sure, yeah, they would
God.
count him as a leader. Sure,
He's a prophet. But it would be incorrect for a Muslim to believe that Jesus is a member of a trinity with God.
Sure, yeah. Let's see. I'm going to finish off this section here. And he would not command you to take the angels and the prophets for lords. Well, there you go. Okay, so this is another category. He call you to unfaith after you have submitted to God. So so don't follow these people because these people are fallible.
And God wouldn't tell you to do that.
Right. So like, why would he give all this information to these people and have you follow them? Mm-hmm. No, he wouldn't. He would have you just follow him. Says Muhammad. So the note here is Jay Horowitz argues that with book, judgment, and prophethood, the Quran intends the three parts of the Hebrew Bible: Torah, prophets, and writings. I could see that. Mm-hmm. I could see that, but I feel like it's also bigger than that at the same time. I don't know. More likely, they are general and overlapping terms for divine revelation. According to the Quran here, someone who has received these gifts from God would not tell people to worship him. Rather, he would tell him to be Rabbaniyin, which Qurai translates as godly people. This term is sometimes thought to mean rabbis. In other contexts, the term is possibly derived from Jewish Aramaic rabbi, master, mm-hmm. Or Syriac Rabban, our master. It could be that the Quran is alluding to Jesus in verse 79. Assad calls this an obvious reference to Jesus, but verse 80 suggests that the Quran is generally concerned with the worship of anything but God as God, which I would agree with. That's kind of like their whole thing. They make that very clear.
Yeah, but that depends on like a very zoomed in reading of the verse. If you want to interpret it as a part of a greater continuity within Surah 3, I think that the most appropriate thing would be the Jesus connection, because Surah 3, the House of Imran, is about Jesus.
Sure, yeah. I could see that, yeah. However, I mean, yeah, it seems like because they're getting so many different categories, like you wouldn't, like, if you really tried, you could put Jesus into all these categories, but I feel like you just start saying Jesus more often instead of making these vague categories.
Maybe.
Jesus.
Vague categories.
Well, maybe it's a poetic motif.
It could be. Yeah, that's totally possible. Either way, I'm going to continue on here.
Do so.
81. Hold on, just one quick question. Where did we say we'd stop? Was it 83 or 84?
83.
83. Okay, because I had totally forgotten. So when God took a compact concerning the prophets,
a covenant.
That makes more sense. Concerning the prophets, he said, "Inasmuch as I have given you the knowledge of the book and wisdom, should an apostle come to you thereafter confirming what is with you, you shall believe in him and help him. So yeah, this is what so this is what God said. He said, "Do you pledge and accept my covenant on this condition?" They said, "We pledge." Said he, "Then be witness, and I too am among witnesses along with you." Now that calls back to Deuteronomy, to needing more than one witness for this kind of stuff. And
Guys.
the fact that it's God is pretty important, I'd say. But here, as elsewhere, the book and wisdom should not be identified with specific scriptures, but rather as two general terms for revelation. I suppose, yeah. So this is the same one that he has given to everybody. So 82. Then whoever turns away after that, it is they who are the transgressors.
Right.
So this is only after they've had the technically, if they need to have this kind of revelation or this kind of covenant, this specific covenant with God, technically you would need to turn away from the real one to be a transgressor. If you had because I know a lot of Muslims like to do this thing where it's like, well, if you ever deconvert from Islam, you were never really a Muslim kind of thing. But the thing is it really bad then? Because this thing, at least the way this is phrased in the English, makes it sound like it's only really, really bad if you turn away and that was in fact the real covenant, whatever, exact belief you had. That's what it sounds like. Mitak al-Nabiyin means literally the covenant of the prophets and may therefore signify either the covenant of the prophets with Allah or the covenant of the prophets with their people. As the words that follow are plainly addressed to the people, the Jews and the Christians being particularly addressed in the last two verses, I adopt the latter interpretation and therefore translate the words as meaning a covenant through the prophets. According to KF, quote, when Allah made, or maybe not quote, when Allah made the covenant which the prophets confirmed with their peoples. Both Moses and Jesus especially laid an obligation on their people to accept the prophet about whom they prophesied. Thus, through Moses, God had warned the Israelites after promising them a prophet from among their brethren like unto thee, that whoever will not hearken unto my words, it's a quotation from Deuteronomy 18:19. Yeah. And then he does the same thing with Jesus as well. Or he cites a similar thing to Jesus. Continuing on though. Yeah, do they seek a religion other than that of God? While to him submits whoever there is in the heavens and the earth, willingly or unwillingly, and to him they will be brought back.
So they will be returned, or they will be brought back. It's like a future promise thing.
Yeah.
But here, for some, whoever is in the heavens refers to angels, while those on earth refer to human beings. But submits, used for Islam or submission, Muslim, willingly, ta'an, can be rendered obediently, while unwillingly, kar, can mean grudgingly. An apparent paradox. The verse asserts that all beings submit to God. Some do so unwillingly. Some explain this by saying that all beings must in some sense succumb to God's will, implying a passive rather than an active submission. Others mention that believers submit in life willingly while disbelievers submit in death unwillingly. But their submission at the moment of death does them no good.
All right.
Good to know.
that is the end of the readings for the day. Lawrence, what did you think of our readings? I thought they were interesting.
Yeah, not bad.
We had a good argument, a few actually, arguably, arguments against the divinity of Jesus.
Sure, yeah.
We also had an argument against free will right at the end there.
Oh, true.
Maybe.
True, yeah, I can see that.
So there's a lot going on here in Surah 3.
Yeah. Also, I don't know why I have these on 2 different pages. I have like some notes here for the
Why
Quran.
don't you like design a note-taking system?
I really
instead
should.
of just having random like,
It's a problem.
clown face. What was that from?
Right, yeah.
I don't know.
Oh yeah, clown face.
Yeah.
Where's
No,
that from?
that's definitely some shit that you'd find in here. But either way, this so mostly in like mostly in Surah 3 here. The stuff about Jesus. I'll write that down later. Fuck it.
Hey, everybody, go to Patreon, go to Amazon Wishlist, go to Discord, go to Comic-Con.
Go to Comic-Con. There you go.
Yeah. And
Good job on winning the shirt.
good
Yeah.
job, Hallie.
You won
Holly.
by luck of the draw again.
Hallie or Holly?
I think it's Hallie.
Hallie.
Yeah, didn't she say like Halle Berry?
Halle
Yep.
Berry.
Yep.
Is it Holly Berry?
No, it's Halle Berry.
Halle Berry.
You're not helping. Anyways,
We'll see you on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday.
Hold
That's
on,
first the shirt that Chris
I
is
posted
spinning.
a shirt. There it is.
All right, thank you, Chris.
I'm accidentally procced welcome. I want to proc goodbye. Yeah, here it is.
Okay.
Okay, we got both.
Anyways, what a smooth ending this was. Goodbye. We'll see you next
you
week
next
on
week.
Wednesday.
Wednesday.